So once again, good morning all for today's session, and we'll be discussing again some interesting topic today. And let's see what it is. And that's here it comes. Though it's written as advanced array concepts in C, but not that kind of advanced. I'll be telling from idea point of view. It is what you can call advanced, and hence you'll be enjoying this session. We'll also give you a quick reminder if anyone has missed the last class. We have seen arrays and functions and also a pointer. The idea is what we have discussed to make our fundamentals strong in the previous class. We have seen that in case of array, how to pass or how to pass a full array to a function, how to pass the size of an array, and also how a function is going to return a full array in the form of an address. So all these things we have made clear, and moving forward, we'll see a little bit advanced concept in C. Advanced in a way, sometimes we don't ask them in exams point of view, but they are very much asked in industry perspective, concept perspective, and also something like in interview panel and all. So we'll be hope enjoying this session, and let's see where we land up. Many a time we ask students in interview panel, can you make a histogram or bar chart with the help of an array? And students keep on thinking, come with different kind of solutions, what you can call functions, this, that. Some of the students keep thinking that how it is possible. This program is to give a sweet, simple answer to that, where we are using array also, and no function I am using here, and using an array we are going to create a simple sweet histogram. The purpose of making a this program is something like, if I ask you that there are students, here it is mentioned 10, there are 60 students in your class, and I want to save their total number and also want a histogram representation with the help of C. So of course we are something telling like, oh my God, what is that telling about? We'll start thinking of how histogram will be coming to see. Have been never taught in the class. So many questions come into the mind. So the way, if you go into the code and see that you have an array which can take here 10, say something like total marks is 50. So each of the student marks from 0th location to 9th location, say in your class it will be 0th location to 59th location, the 60 marks, here 10 marks have been saved, the total marks. And I have taken roll number is 501, but as you know, in case of printing, we'll be printing 501 to 560. So these are the real life scenarios that we need to consider without being puzzled and giving a best solution when a practical question is asked from real life, where I know array very well. I can also create single linked list and many other things. But when a tricky question asked to me, I'm not able to give an answer. So these are the sessions to give you more confident that what we are going to do. So very simple way, I take a for loop. And what I have done is that, if you see, the idea is that when you are passing the 34 as a marks, it should represent in the form of a bar line, that is a histogram. And when you are passing some 37 or 40, it will show the measurement length accordingly. So I've taken a variable as j. J is going to, in every round of for loop, is going to take marks 0, marks 1, marks 2 to up to marks 9. When I is 0, you are getting 34 has been passed to j. Now what you are going to do in this format, that what is your roll number and marks is going to be printed. So first we will tell roll number equal to %2d, and so what is the roll number? Roll number is roll. So my first roll already initialized to 501. 501 is going to be printed, and marks %3d. Thus 2d and 3d are for space. If anyone still have a doubt, 2 spaces and 3 spaces I have taken. So this roll number 501 have j as a marks. What is the j marks first? The first j marks is 34. This 34 as a 0th location will be passed marks of I means 0. So this 0 is going to be zeroth marks is going to be sent to J, and I am going to create now a for loop for k is equal to 0. K is already initialized an integer. For k is equal to 0, k less than j and k plus plus, I'm going to print a bar line for your marks. And let's see the output. So that's something pretty interesting. 501 has this mark. Don't feel bad. This is no practical marks. Just an what you can call a try. What you may face during interview panel and all, and then how you get puzzled, and your thinking should get changed. And as the first session also I named as playing with arrays, functions, and pointers. So you need to play with the code and understand that always a coding doesn't mean that very what you can call tough and high level of coding people ask you in interview to harass you. More than that, with the freshers, we like to play with the tricky code and see that they can apply common sense or not. So this question is solved just using a common sense. Now you can tell, I think every one of you, I can see around 51 people joined this session. 51 of you in my class, I'm pretty sure you can write this code. But 10 minutes before, I have a doubt how many of you would have the concept of writing this. That's where your idea about data analytics may start. What you do in a data analytics, you have data, you give a visual effect or representation in the form of pie chart, bar chart, histogram, line chart, different kind of charts are there. With the help of them, a 3D data view, we represent them. There are different ways to do it. If you go to see graphics, you can make it with color and all those things. Keeping that one in concept, in a very basic, this idea taking, as you know, we have worked with your senior and published a paper in the international conference, not with this, in a very higher level. They have also worked with the graphics. So they have kept the data into data files, taken C graphics and made different kind of pie chart with the help of C graphics. And but the concept was this once I explained to them, so we can have some idea basically what happens in data. So that was the first idea or code of today's morning. Hope you have liked it. Let us move into the next code. This is another interesting way, passing a full array to a function. Already you have seen some code, and these are the type of code we show in the interview panel, or interview panel panelist will be showing you and asking whether this array or this code is going to work or not. You get puzzled, but this is a very much workable code, and you need to understand this is another way that how do you pass a full array to a function and then handle it. So with this kind of representation of integer array and size, basically you take care of the total array to be passed to a function. And as you know, we have created a function which is show array. So show array is the called function. And what we have done in the show array, if you see in the left side of the code, in the show array, you have passed the n. And writing n here is nothing but address. And if you have seen our previous last program of the previous class, you are aware it is nothing but a pointer representation of an array. This is what is making a meaning here. Pointer representation of an array. Same way in the function prototype, we are making a pointer representation of that. This can take a pointer directly, you can give in this form. So please remember the previous class content already shared with you, and you pass the address, and as you know always address of the array, and you take it in the help of pointer. But interestingly, you can move with the definition or the way you are writing the array earlier. So something like you have an array is taking the total n you have passed here, and you can write with the form of array of 0, array of n, array of 2, and array of 3. It's an executed code, and you can see the output also. So different way the snippets are shown to the people. And as what happens is that I know some two concepts, I'm not aware of other two concepts. We give a no answer. No, sir, this code will not work. This is not how we pass it. See that kind of things will not happen. Most of the coder, we see that even the best coder, just for not knowing a specific answer, he or she gives an answer that no, this code will not work because he or she has not done. So we always tell in the fundamental level, do as much as programming you can do, and hence this title I have given, playing with the codes. Play with different kind of options of code, and don't just think that whether it is going to work or not. You just apply it, face it, solve it, rather than just reading. Of course, you'll read from book, but or our class notes or some internet material. Reading is a part, good part. We agree. But along with that, as long as you are not what you can call making your hands dirty on coding and not playing with the coding is not going to be clear. So that was the second part. For the people who have joined me little late, just showing the previous code for you. That the code was just to make a histogram uh, for your class members. If you have 60 members and roll numbers, we have taken only 10 because it will be a big output. And how you are going to take their marks and going to make a histogram. So hope you have understood. Anyhow, I'll be sharing this total material with you. And that was our second code. Now we move ahead and see initializing and accessing array elements only using pointer. So I always, as you know, even in class also, I go by some specific terminologies and always make you to understand or realize and have some patience to listen and understand what is the question is asked to you by the interviewer. A half learned question or half heard question, also a half understanding of the question. What I'm trying to tell, if you have not listened the question properly, your understanding also not happened properly. You'll be writing or giving some wrong answer. So initializing and accessing array elements only using pointers. See where I'm giving the emphasis or stress. You need to initialize also, you need to access also using pointers. So very simple question, but as I told, the trick is there. Many of you, we see when I have sit, as I always tell, I also sit for different kind of interview panel, and I have given personally this question. People randomly start solving the question, taking an array by their own, but and they always keep the second part in mind, accessing array elements only using pointer. So with pointer, I will do something. But here, initializing is also with pointer, and hence it will make your pointers concept clear and what we are going to do. See here, we have taken an array of the size 5 and we have taken a p as an integer pointer. Now enter 5 elements and press enter. Very simple. In between the red line code where you have done a small, what you can call correction, that is the clue of this code. The pointer p has the address of n, and we can initialize it in the past, in the inside the for loop also. And these are the really tricky ways to write questions and reducing the number of lines. P is equal to n. This p is equal to n, and suddenly if you are not writing, as you told, we also show the code in the interview panel. People get puzzled. What is this p is equal to n? This p is equal to is nothing but p pointer is taking the address of n, and if it is an n, then I can keep on what you can call take care of n plus 5 up to n plus 5, because that's how 0 to 5, and less than n plus 5, so minus 1 and p plus plus. So this for loop is a very interesting what you can call declaration of how do you use the pointer inside a for loop and use the concept of pointer arithmetic to handle the array elements. And then what do? You scan and initialize along with your p, and as p is every time p plus plus, so you no need to take tension of it. It is keep on moving to the next elements. So very sweet 2 lines of for and scan here that you should keep in your mind. I personally have shown this code in different kind of interview and got a different kind of answers from the students. They could write even very high level of Python code, but they could not understand this part of the code. Now the entered array elements, again p is equal to n. I'm bringing back p is equal to n, p less than n plus 5, p plus plus. So bringing p to n back because your p has been increased, p plus 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 plus, it has gone, the pointer has moved to the last element. You need to bring it back to the first element and then print it. And you can see what I'm showing you is an executed code in front of you. So it works. So that kind of confidence, I request you people to build at your end once you are working at home. Don't just be what you can call concentrating on finishing the syllabus or whatever the material you are finding from us or even from net. Yeah, these are the different sources where you get it, you read it, you understand it, and those are the programs you solve. Fine. But once you have solved a problem, any problem, as I always tell, addition can be done in 20 ways. So whatever the problem you get, like my previous, some 4 or 5 programs I've given in the previous class, have you played with the code? That is the question. Have you played with the code? You have told us, others are told, some people will also, no, it can be written in a better way. In your mind, something is there. Some people do, oh, it's very good, it will work. No, after you come to across any code, either in the book or material given by you or online, if any you're doing any course, and these sessions or the class notes, whatever you get, after getting any code, it's your duty to play with the code and do a lot of permutation combination of it. Lot of permutation combination of it. My question simple, I'll be asking you and check at home. Can I start with the third element like p is equal to n plus 2? P is equal to n plus 2, and then I start working with only third, fourth, fifth, and sixth element, something like that. Can I do? You'll be telling yes. My question is that have you executed? So please execute and play with the code to get some better answers. So this again very fundamentals, very simple fundamental. But as we don't do much and thinking, oh, it is done, because many of the people can do matrix multiplication, matrix addition. We expect that that will be the level of questions we'll be asked in interview panel. Sometimes very tough in a matter of half an hour to 40 minutes. When I need to ask almost 10 questions, ask you to write a matrix multiplication, and then it takes 10 minutes time out of you. So that we go in case of interviews in a very sweet, simple way. So this will also not only just help you to clear your interviews or concepts, also will be helping you to better answers in the exams also, because whoever the people, their fundamental is strong, they can write answers in a much better way. So this is passing a 2D array to a function, normally where we neglect. And we have not given any function prototype. So the same way it is written, it is like that, only you need to add hash include standard io.h, as you know. After that, void print, we are keeping the function definition at the beginning, so that I no need to give a function prototype. And then main, and as you can see, so let us look into the main, and then we'll come back to the function definition. A main having a 2-dimensional array, which having 3 rows and 3 columns. So we have also take m is equal to 3, n is equal to 3, and this definition of an array, you can use printf, scanf, and you can define your rows and what you can call columns, and then you can initialize it to make it simplified or short. I have taken directly here the array elements. So you have a 3 by 3 elements, m and n, and what we pass, once we pass, that is, we need to remember, in case of 2-dimensional array, you pass its row size, its column size, and also its base address. This is the way what we like to know once we ask in the interview panel. So if you are passing all these 3 things, this is again a very interesting where you do a lot of mistake. When you take m, n, and remember you have pass address, you need to consider a pointer. If you see the previous example, what happened is that we consider how to give a defining a pointer in this expression. So this is nothing but a pointer to a specific array, and that's how you can give it. You don't need to give, as you know, always m. If you give m, it will work. You don't need to give m also, but n is must, number of columns. And we move ahead, and now you have the value of m, n, and then you will also have the whole array. So you can use it. You have I and j, I0, I less than m, j is 0, j less than n, just to take 2 for loops, and so that you can print the array elements. And always please start looking and doing into the code. The playing with the code is very important, as I always say, is from writing better code, sweet code, not doing mistakes in the fundamentals, giving a direct question, we need a direct answer, the best answer, and a brain or mind which can give an answer which is already he has thought. That means you should not get surprised after getting a question, let it be exam or let it be interview panel. It's not like that out of 100, all 100 you should know, but it's something like a understanding of how many programs you do. After doing one program, are you playing it with around 4 to 5 ways, splitting in different ways, and then some of the options which are not even told in book, and you got some ideas in your mind and you play with them. So this class and the previous class is totally dedicated for it, that you make your fundamentals pretty clear, and you see that we are able to, what you can call, play with the code. I did not keep a huge amount of code, but the basic codes what have been kept in front of you today in the previous class are the questions which directly taken from most of the interview questions. And type of feedback we get is that students are not able to give the basic answer of fundamentals when they are doing data science, Python, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and different kind of other things, but they are not able to give the basics answers. So please work on your basics, and that's where I was concentrating in these 2 sessions. And though I have given only very simple, short 8 programs, maybe 4 in this session and 4 in the earlier session, the idea is that out of this 8, you create 8 into 3, 24 different kind of permutation and combination and program, and see that how best you can represent them. Can you come with a different answer for that? Now, taking an example, again, thinking totally out of the box may be very tough. As you have seen, the histogram has been drawn in a horizontal way. Now you start thinking, I'll draw the histogram in a vertical way. That might be a really, what you can call, out of the box thinking, because at this moment you'll not be able to make the lines in a vertical way. It will be a real tough situation. No, sir, I can do it. Okay, do it. And that's where you need to make your hands dirty. You have, so hope you have liked this session, and thank you for joining this session. If you have any doubts, you can always ask me in offline and all. And we'll come back with a few more new ideas and concepts in the next class. Thanks for joining me. If you have any doubt. Yeah, thank you. I already getting a few inputs. Excellent session, nice session, great session. Yeah, that's just because always thinking about single linked list, double linked list, and advanced things, we sometimes forget about the basics. So I thought let us go back to root always, and make our roots and fundamentals very strong. And always you also keep in your mind, in fourth year you come, they'll be judging on your first year skills of what you can call of your learning and understanding. So thank you. Thanks for joining this class. We'll see you tomorrow again.